Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Yes, welcome to another episode of the Business Heroes podcast. I am Mia. That's
Awkward.
funny.
Okay. Silence the phone, but didn't silence the computer.
That's okay, honey.
Yeah, it happens.
Yes. Well, I'm Mia.
And I'm Victor, and we are excited to be here with you all today. I missed you all last week.
Yes.
Had to be at work, but we're back.
Yes.
We are
And
back.
Victor, I want to say on behalf of the audience that we missed you. Okay.
Aw.
I really did. And I let it be known that I missed having you on this show. And I'm glad that you're back. And so, for those of you who may be watching this podcast for the first time, this is the Business Heroes podcast where we highlight entrepreneurs and high performing professionals that are pursuing purpose, profit, and passion so that they can affect the world for good. And I am really excited about the person that we have on our show today. Victor, how long ago was it when you met her?
I think it was about 2 years ago.
Wow.
That I met our guests.
Yes. And I'm so glad. I remember when you met her 2 years ago, you came home singing her praise. You were talking about the things you had learned, and it really stirred up something in both of our hearts and minds. But we wanted to get you on the show because we thought that you would be stirred up as well. Some of you are wondering, how can I become an entrepreneur? Maybe you feel like you don't have a product or you don't have a service and you don't know how you can become an entrepreneur. Well, our guest has a really powerful business model, and she's going to be talking to you about it today, but also what it was like for her to get on this journey of amazingness, right? And how she helps other people. And so I'm really excited about that.
And for those of you that didn't see the show title, this nurse with six-figure woman-owned business discusses pursuing the dream that God has put inside of you. Sorry, I had to be looking all the way over there to do that, but I don't memorize my titles.
That's okay. We got your cute side profile. Nice.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah.
Cool. So, anyway, babe.
Listen now, you can be flirting and stuff on the show, okay? We have to focus.
So you can flirt and I can't flirt. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're really saying right now?
I'm just saying.
Look, just because you're all beautiful and got your shimmery blue shirt and all done up and stuff, don't mean I can't flirt with you. You're my wife.
I do have on a shirt. I really love this shirt. And for those of you, okay, maybe I shouldn't tell you where I got it, but if you want to know where I got this shirt, I can tell you, and you will be surprised. And I have a nice shirt on, and that's it. Okay, wow.
I think we just need to bring our guest on. We just need to bring her on. I think we're going to bring her on.
Have on more than just a shirt.
Yes.
Just say.
Wow.
Okay, get worse. Okay.
We might need to edit this one.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I think Sister Rethemious agrees.
Yes.
Anyway, she's like, what did I just get myself into?
We are so sorry.
No, I'm just saying, you know what? That one right there. That one right there is a character.
Yes.
Right, be careful. That one right there is a character.
Thank you so much for the prayers. I'm grateful, man. So we are so happy to have you on. I mean, oh man. I mean, Victor, first of all, you got to read her bio. We brought you on. We didn't read the bio, but people need to know who you are and what you stand for, what you do. It has been so inspiring for us to have met you. So we're going to let them hear your bio, and then we just got to go at it.
I'm not going to read the entire thing.
Right.
Because it's quite a bit here, but I think we'll be able to at least paint a picture with what we got here.
All right.
So, this is Rethemious Lynn, is the owner and founder of It's Adonai Family Homecare, which is a faith-based organization. Their vision is a caring home reflecting God through service to the aging. Our mission, to serve God through a ministry that provides a continuum of care and quality of life to the aging individuals and their families. It's Adonai Family Homecare is a residential home that provides long-term 24-hour care. It represents a transformation in the way senior care is provided.
Yes.
The belief that everyone has a right to age with dignity.
Beautiful.
And so that's where I'll pause there, and you're more than welcome to share more with us on that. I mean, you're going to be sharing anyway.
Yes.
But
I have 38 years of working in nursing homes,
mm-hmm.
And working with different people. And everybody in a nursing home is not in a nursing home because they have a passion for it. Some people are in a nursing home because it's a job. you know, and it's a job that, okay, I know I can get paid. I know I can work a lot of overtime. I know it make a lot of money. And it's not, the people never came in mind, and the care of the people and loving people. I have had instances over the years where someone was dying, and people act like because this person is dying that this person no longer really needs care. They don't really want to go in, and they don't go in and change them as much. They don't go in and check on them as much. But over my 38 years, I found out that just that dying person needs more care than anybody at that present time, because they have a lot of fear, because you can't do anything. You're helpless. It's like, for example, I have a history of seizures. They've been under control for years now, since 1990. I haven't had one since 1995. I know what my triggers are. So I'm able to handle that, and I'm not even on any medication anymore by the grace of God. God removed all of that.
Amen.
And, in a seizure, I could hear everything, but I couldn't respond. That's how that dying person is. They can hear, because hearing is the last thing to go, but they really can't respond. So I always, that was my start point, my ending point. Even when I did rounds for when a person was dying, I started with them, I checked on everybody, and I came back and I planted myself with them. I've had people that, I had a lady that her husband died and she had a stroke, and she didn't talk. She left one day talking and walking, come back, she's on a G-tube.
Wow.
She's not talking. But to my amazement, I talk to this lady every day. I talk, she her G-tube. You know how that G-tube is, Victor, when it cracks or something, it leaks, and they don't want to change it out because it can cause them infection. So they're taping it, and everything until, okay, we need to wait XYZ days, and then it's leaking, and it's leaking on the person. And also I had a lady, the G-tube would be leaking on her all the time. And I would come in and I could see where, okay, it would have come out, been leaking. And so I would clean her up. And I'd say, you can't stay like this. And I would clean her up and put new clothes on her and put new linens on her, where other people would come see it, cover it up, and go on.
Oh, man.
Well, 2 years, this lady did not talk. 2 years, this lady did not say a word. But to my amazement, I was going, in 1995, I was going to Holy Convocation in New York to my head church. And I prayed for her. She didn't look like she was doing very well, and I didn't know if I was going to see her again when I came back. This lady now was sick. So I prayed for her, and I told her, I said, I love you, and I'm going on vacation to Holy Convocation. You take care of yourself. To my amazement, that week later when I come back, after praying for that lady before leaving for Holy Convocation, that lady was talking when I come back.
Wow. Yes.
Wow.
That lady was telling on everybody when I came back.
Mm.
There were missing people when I came back. And when I walked in that door, my administrator told the secretary, when she come in the door, tell her to come to my office. So I come in the door, and I'm a CNA. And I'm going to the administrator. I said, look, I know I ain't do nothing before I left here. I don't know what the world I'm having to go. Nobody nobody wants to go to the administrator. He's like, why am I having to a place that I didn't hang out? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't stop by. What am I going to this man's office for?
Right.
So within his office, and here comes the director of nursing. And I'm like, okay, what is all this? Why am I here with these two people?
Wow.
And they say, come go with us. We go down the hall, go around the corner. We go to my section where I'm working. We walk in this lady's room. They take me straight to this lady's room. When I went in this lady's room, because when I was younger, I used my middle name a lot. I walked in there, this lady said, Renee, I told him everything. I'm like, okay, you told him everything. What was everything? I told him how you kept me clean. I told him how you prayed for me every day.
Woo!
I told him how you treated me like family, because I would say, okay, I'm going to be off for 2 days. I would tell my patients, I would say, okay, I'm going to be off for 2 days. I'm not going, 2 days, I'll be back. One day I'll be back. I would talk to them. This lady told it all.
Wow.
The director of nursing said, hey, you're going to be our trainer.
Yes.
I got a raise and a promotion. She said, you're going to be the CNA trainer. Everybody needs to be trained by you.
Wow.
So I became training people. And I said, oh, Jesus. And that began my journey of never, ever having a job again where I wasn't teaching somebody.
Wow.
And all. Because
Wow.
I say, well, she's a person. She need prayer. I prayed. All I had was keeping her clean in prayer. That's all I had. I was just a CNA. That's all I could do. Keep her clean, fed, because she had a G tube, so she didn't need to be fed. But those that needed to be fed, make sure they eat. Don't come sit their meal in the room. Leave it there. Don't come and do everything you can't do. You can do to encourage them to eat. Some people need encouragement. I've watched where people come in and just leave the tray. Try to give them one bite. They don't want it and go out. It's like you're not helping them have a good quality of life. If they didn't eat that, go get them some Ensure. Go do something. Do your very best to help somebody live. Don't look that they're up in age. Oh, they've lived their time. But treat them like you want to be treated all the way to the end of your life. I want to be treated with goodness and mercy all my life. And the Lord says goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life. So if you want goodness and mercy, you got to give goodness and mercy in everything that you do. So God showed me now 24 years ago, because I've been in business 4 years. I had a dream 24 years ago that I was running houses. And I told my husband, who's a blue collar worker, y'all. He likes blue collar work. And I always said to my husband, I do blue collar work, but I'm not a blue collar worker. I want you to know one day I'm going to leave this industry of working for somebody else. And my husband was like, I said, one day it's coming. So 4 years ago when it came and I bought the first house, my husband walked into it. When he walked into it, he told me, don't buy nothing for it. He would buy it all.
Wow.
Because he had it to contribute. When he saw it, he walked in there, he said, oh my God. I said, what? He said, this is your dream.
Yes.
You dreamed this all those years ago. Oh my, it's here. And so it put on a light bulb, thank God, because as I expired for it, that was the hard part of marriage, because, working on somebody's job, the check's going to come in every day, every week. The bill's going to get paid. You know how that go, Mia. You got Victor over there.
Right.
They got, they need reliability, but I'm a faith mover. I believe God's word. I believe everything that he said. I know not the plans. And I tell him that I know not the plan that you have for me, but I do know that the plan that you have for me is to prosper me.
Yes.
And I tell him not to hurt me, but to bring me to a perfect end. Y'all know that's Jeremiah 29:11. We got this Bible, but we don't believe what this Bible tells us. This is the written word of God. And lately I've added this Bible and this Apocrypha, and I've got this old Bible that was made, that AD Testament, things that we don't know about. And I'm just reading it all, putting it all together. But I started my home 4 years ago because God, I was working. I was on a job working. And God said to me, you got to come away now. It's time. God told me it was time.
Before you continue, I just wanted to highlight something. So for those of you who are watching this is Apostle Rethemious Lynn, and she is sharing with us her story about how God moved her into this six-figure business that is serving seniors at the highest level, even before they transition, as some people say. And so this is powerful. Like I heard you say, wow, people in these nursing homes and things like that, you were able to be set in a place where you could be a leader to them, to show them how to actually care for God's people, how to actually be there for them in their last moments. And God took your faithfulness in what somebody might say the little things
Mm-hmm.
and made it much. I mean, that is really amazing.
I haven't had a job from there in my lifetime that I went in entry level, that I stayed entry level. And I
Mm,
never seek promotion. I always go in to work, just work. My thing is always work when I'm in a place. I feel like when you're pushing and you're seeking for promotion, you don't get it, and you get overlooked for it. Because I did have one time in life where I sought to be promoted and I didn't get promoted. It's like everybody that didn't do the job was getting promoted over me.
Mm.
mm,
But now I understand that what God was doing, he was not allowing me to get stuck there in that job, because he had a bigger plan for me.
mm.
Because after all of this stuff was happening and everybody was getting promoted, I did something that I never had did. And my husband was like, what the world? I turned my notice in, I left, and I didn't really have a full-time job after that. I only worked PRN, and I did self-care on me.
Well,
You talk about mental health. I did self-care on Rethemious. I
Mm.
worked that job faithfully, endlessly, countlessly over the years. And it was I just needed to get my RN. I was already paid, basically running the building, but I wasn't getting
mhm,
paid to do it because I was
mhm,
an LPN, not an RN. So when
mhm.
I became an RN, to just start having all of these people who I knew the job in and out, get promoted over me, and they thought I was going to train these people to be my boss. I think the last straw was when there was someone that barely came to work, never followed the policies, the procedures. See, I'm a military child. So I was always taught to walk according to compliance.
Mm.
And I had lost my boss that understood that about me. They actually, my nickname on this job was drill sergeant,
All
because
right. All right.
my boss was, if they can't make it through the drill sergeant, they can't make it, because she knew I was going to do everything I could to teach you the job. Everybody look at the drill sergeant as the bad guy, but the drill sergeant is pushing you and rooting for you. Nobody really understands that the drill sergeant really is rooting for you to make it, to get through.
Wow.
Mm.
Come
You're in
on.
boot camp. Boot
Mm.
camp, people think they trying to kick you out. The drill sergeant is actually your best friend.
Come
If you
on.
ever watch any of the movies, he did everything he could to get you through. Why the head man was trying to get rid of you, the drill sergeant was actually trying to watch your back. Hey, soldier, get it together.
Yes.
And you thought he was being hard to you and mean to you until you got through the process. And once
Mm.
you got through the process, you realize the drill sergeant really wasn't trying to get me kicked out. He was trying to build me up so I could be able to stand and I could be able to make it.
Mm.
Woo!
Mm.
Come on now. Hallelujah.
That message
Yes.
right there has
Yes.
been coming a lot over the
Yes.
past month. The whole idea
Yes.
that some people, when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to
Mm,
life, like hardship comes and they
mm,
want to throw in the towel. Just like, man, I thought I'd be over here by now. I thought I've been
mhm,
making this money or going this far.
mhm,
And what I'm coming to realize is that this is a necessary part of the journey of life, of the
mhm,
journey of entrepreneurship. Because it'd be like somebody that's trying to they want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger as far as figure goes,
mhm.
just throwing them out there. But they might be like me right now, right? Like, and they want to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger in a week or overnight. But even if for somehow they were able to, if God just put that on them, so to speak, they still would not have learned the process of discipline through working out, through doing what it takes
Wow.
to achieve what Arnold Schwarzenegger has.
That's what I
And doing that is what will keep them in that Arnold Schwarzenegger figure. We can't do this, overnight thing. But same thing with business. What the muscles that you build on the way, the determination, the mindsets that are necessary to get through that is the same thing that will help you keep that and
Yeah.
sustain that once you're actually there.
It made
Yeah,
me think.
because
Oh,
it's
sorry.
like this. It's like this. I had children at 15 and 16 years old. I'm a teenage mother. So I had to learn back then how to balance meals for the month.
Wow.
You know, put groceries up, make sure that there was plenty in the house for my kids to eat and that they didn't go hungry. I had to do all of that. And I was 17 when I started as a CNA. And I built on that. I became a rehab instructor. So I learned how to be able to do rehab. I worked in United Cerebral Palsy back in Florida, and those were different types of level of people, behaviors. Had a man that used to hit himself head on the wall. God taught me how to calm him down where he wouldn't hit his head on the side of the wall. I had a blind man in a wheelchair that couldn't even feed himself. God taught me how to get him to feed himself, and he was a very big, heavy man. And back then, Hoyer lifts had not come out, so we had to manually lift this man to put this
Wow.
Mm,
in the bed. And this man is every bit about four something and everything.
Wow.
So two women lifting to put this man in bed. So I'm telling you, this man turned around and learned how to take his body and make himself light so we could put him in the bed. Once
mm,
I put this man, I was able through the grace of God to teach this man how to roll side to side to help me.
mm,
Wow.
So I still have a back because God taught me in the process of when I didn't have things, how to do things, and then touch the heart of the people I was taking care of that had mental
Mm.
issues to work with me and
mm,
everything. Because here it was, they say he feeds himself now. Yeah, he can feed himself. Would give him the fork, tell him what was take his hand in the spoon, and this is over here. Move it over. This is over here. This is up top and this is down bottom. This man would face it. He never fed himself before you come here. But God
Wow.
just turned around and ignited the gifts in me. And he also allowed me to go and manage restaurants. I managed the Hardee's
mm,
back in the 90s. Um, I started at the bottom. I wasn't looking to be a manager. He never let me stay at the bottom. I didn't ask for the job. I didn't ask for the promotions. They would say, hey, can you go take this food service class? You think you can pass it? Yeah. Give me a book to study, go pass it. Okay, we're gonna make you a manager, we're gonna train you and take you up. And I actually became for McDonald's in the 90s down in Florida. I was considered the cleaner.
Mm.
That job. So I was given a job, a name in each job. So my bosses considered me the cleaner in McDonald's because
Mhm.
they would send me to the different McDonald's to clean them up that,
Mm.
that work with the staff and also to clean up the restaurant because if
Mhm.
people didn't take care of the restaurant, and it became nasty. And I would get people would come work for me because I didn't add whatever I asked them to clean. If they turn around and saw I was cleaning something worse, trying to get this restaurant back in shape. So
Wow.
that's just so he was teaching me there finance because I had to maintain the money and everything. And I had McDonald's that, I thank God for my character because these people would not put the deposits. We had one McDonald's that was in a Walmart and it was open. It wasn't locked where you close the cage at night. And those people would not put the money in the bank at times. They would turn around and put it in a drawer or they would leave it over in a spot and I'd come in the next day and find this money not where it was supposed to be and everything. And I'm telling you, and to call my boss one day and say, hey, the money ain't in the safe for me to take to the bank today like it's supposed to. He said, what are you talking about? I say the money ain't, or I would have to recount the money after they did the deposits the next morning. And the
Mm.
deposits ain't right. They done sat here and put in there that the deposit is 2,000 and deposit is 1,500. I'm hey, this ticket, but this ain't what's in there. And so then I got to go all through the computer and see what that happened for them to fix for them. And my boss would be like, they better be glad you the one that come up in here the next day. They ain't put no deposit in the safe and you done turn around. It's sitting there on a counter where if anybody would have come over from the Walmart side,
Right.
because the Walmart was 24 hours, They could have got it. And they're like, they better be glad you the one coming by. All my bosses felt like, because I walked with God, that protected things, which
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some things. I've seen when I've left places how that it's changed hands. They no longer had it in their hands, or they sold it because they couldn't maintain it in everything. And these are jobs that, okay, like McDonald's, I worked there. My boss retired. A new set of people come in. They didn't know you, and they bring all these teams in. Don't y'all get worried when they bring these teams in and the teams start mistreating you. God is opening an exit door to take you to something better. I realize.
Wow.
I didn't realize it at the time that these things were happening to me and everything. And they would come in like I didn't know nothing, and their people knew more and everything, and it was like treacherous.
Mm.
But it was God teaching me how not to treat people, even when
Mm.
I stepped out here in business and all. But I really thank God for the last one when the new bosses come. I really thank God that the new bosses thought every day, every week, that lady would come in and threaten my job. Every week that lady would come in. She would get a phone call because I'm a policy person and I won't let you wreck my license. I
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mm-hmm.
have no problem saying something about you if it's going to wreck my license.
Right.
I worked very hard to get them. By the grace of God, when I became an LPN, I was actually in school for C++ program and financial management.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was in school for. And what ended up, my counselor, I got in a car wreck and was out for a year. And my counselor asked me when I come back, why don't you have your high school diploma? I said, what are you talking about? She said, you tested to come in here that you had already been in college. I said, because I had children young and I dropped out of school, but I didn't never stop learning. I got books, English books, math books. I got plenty of them. She said, go take your test. So I took my test. And by 2 points, I missed 2 points of
Wow.
acing the GED test and had not been in school for 10 years.
Wow.
So when I did that, Miss Beasley, I'll never forget Miss Beasley. Miss Beasley asked me to change my major to nursing. And I went home and talked to my great aunt. My great aunt said, it's you. I said, it's me what? She said, it's you that is supposed to carry on your great grandmother's legacy. She said, I've been praying and praying. Who is to carry on her legacy? I know her legacy just can't just die. And none of her children became nurses. None of her grandchildren. I'm a great. And I did. My aunt said, take it. Take the offer. It's you. It's for you. And I did. So my LPN school was paid for all but $200.
Amen.
Mm.
Amen. I
Mm-mm-mm.
want to highlight something you said earlier, especially for those that are coming in. This is Rethemious Lynn again, and she's talking to us about her journey as an entrepreneur. She highlighted character, you know, and this is really big, especially she said as a Christian. I don't know about you all, but I've met people who said they're a Christian and you're confused. Like, really? You're a Christian? You steal and you're a Christian? You lie?
But guess what?
You're a Christian? Like,
But never, that's the problem. I have my workers. Let me tell you something.
okay.
I have my worker. And that's Merle's question, your question right there. Because I've had Bishop, she said some of these people come work. She said they're Christian and this and that be going on. I said, okay, let me explain to you
Come on.
about being a Christian. And so you can stop looking at them for what they say when they say I'm a Christian. I'm glad you can say that you're a Christian because that allows me to know that you are a sinner saved by grace. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That you understand the grace of Jesus Christ and the sacrifice that he made for all of us.
Mm.
That's all that means, that we are sinners saved by grace. Now, whether or not we choose to totally surrender
Mm.
and move to salvation,
Woo!
that's the key.
That's deep.
Mm.
That's deep.
Mm.
That's deep. Unpack that.
Mm.
Unpack that. I know. Unpack
Mercy.
it.
Salvation is where your character gonna come in, because it means that I'm not just a Christian, but I am choosing to go beyond just being a sinner saved by grace, but develop myself in Christ Jesus and take on the characteristic of Christ. Big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. I don't walk around, look, two things I don't do. I don't walk around telling people, one, I'm a Christian. Second, I don't walk around telling people I'm apostle. I just walk. I just walk and let it be seen. The Bible said, let your light shine before man. You don't have to say a word about who you are, because your light is supposed to be shining before man that all the world may see. That's all we got to do. If you're walking around telling people you're a Christian, stop. Let your character and your light be your witness. I allow my character and my light. You see, when I went to that meeting, I went to a meeting on Council of the Aging, and I took y'all to the Council of the Aging meeting because I wanted you to understand the aging process.
Right.
So understanding the aging process, you see how those people walked up to me? Because I've let my light shine. You hear how one of those ladies say, this is our agent of the council prayer warrior.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
Because I pray for them all. I don't look at I can see where a lot of people are in life, but I don't look at them for where they are in life. I have asked God to allow me. Jesus accepted people no matter what walk of life they were in, and he treated them fairly. And if you want to walk in blessing, I was reading. I'm like I told you, I have all these extensions now of the Bible, of the law, the scriptures that didn't make it in the Bible and different things. And it says Abraham was a generous and a quiet man in one of the readings I was reading. And he received the rich and the poor. He received the good and the bad. Because why? Because you can encourage people that are not walking right with God to change their character and walk right, walk right. I have a friend. She don't walk right with God. She's been my friend 24 years. I tell her what thus says the Lord. I've planted the seed. God gonna water it and it gonna come up. When he get ready for it to come up, I just keep planting them. And as I keep planting, slowly but surely, she's changed. She has a business just like mine. I helped her. Put up her business, and all. Senior care is changing here, and these seniors don't have places to go. People that they can't stay in a nursing home if they the assisted living if they need help for real, and they may not qualify for the nursing home if they need help. I was called the other day about a case. There was a woman, and let me see if I can pull up just the description of the woman and not give her name to give you an idea of what's happening here with senior care and all. So it says that this woman has issues with her dentures. She eats only soft and pureed foods because of her dentures. She needs this is an assessment that was done on this lady. They said she needs home health. And they say that she is frail but has sparkly eyes. Well, the doctor wants her to go to the nursing home. But guess what? Don't qualify for the nursing home. Having to eat soft foods and being frail don't qualify you for the nursing home. So the family has to find somebody to help see about this lady, because frailty don't get you to the nursing home.
Wow, this is interesting. I remember as you were just talking to us about what you do, there was a key and this is a little bit off from perhaps what you're talking about now, but something that stood out to me. You said that a lot of times people don't actually prepare for the fact that one day they'll be old and that they will need care. And I think that really stood out to me. And now I hear something else, the idea that, wow, there's actually a possibility that you wouldn't even qualify for the nursing home if you needed to go there. Can you talk to the audience a little bit more about preparation? Because I know a lot of our audience is African American.
So, and as African Americans, we don't prepare. We don't prepare to have we don't have long care life insurance. And long care life insurance is what will help pay the bills for you if you have to hire a caretaker, or you need somebody to care for you in your home, or you need to go someplace else. Because long-term care will pay for you to get an RN or an LPN or a CNA to come take care of you. And we don't. And we look, we have family members, and we don't look at tomorrow. We don't look at getting older. There is John Hancock, New York Life, so
Mm.
many long-term care plans. We really need to check into them, because um, the possibility that if you stay home and your family is made to take care of you may put you in an abusive situation if your family's not equipped and their stress level is not equipped.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
what we find that a lot of us end up in abusive situations, really not being cared for, because they take our checks and they go do what they want to do with our checks. They don't make sure that the check is, used to take care of us. And then, there's some folks that will do right. That's like for me, like I tell people, I embrace people. I have all kind of children, birth children, non-birth children.
Mhm.
Somebody will make sure that I'm gonna be whoever God tells me to put something to make sure that's what I'm gonna do. So I keep my listening ears. See, a lot of us think it's our children. Nah, invest in other people, because you don't know who gonna have to come see about you, and who's gonna have to make sure things go right with you. See, I got these 4 sons, and I always had this in my mind. I have 4 sons. I do not know what kind of wives they're gonna get.
Mm.
It's true.
You have to be realistic in life. I don't know if they're gonna get wide. Like I got one son is married. I know his wife ain't gonna take care of me. She was an only child and very self-centered. I don't fool with it. So God is. I said, God, I always said to you, I don't know about my sons and their wives, because I don't know what kind of wives they're gonna get. And so I got 3 more sons. So I watch. And I told one of my sons the other day, I'm gonna adopt me a child. He said, you didn't get that sanction by the rest. I said, I don't have to get anything sanctioned by anybody but my husband.
Mm.
Because whatever God say do, that's so will I do, that I be well in life. A lot of us, God show us the signs that this child is not gonna see about us. And some of us have sons of wrath. It don't matter how saved we are. Some of our children are children of wrath.
Mm.
Abraham was a man after God. He loved God. Him and God were friends,
Mm.
but he had a son of wrath. And God told him, "Don't say nothing." See, a lot of things we're not. They just break down little things in these 66 books. So you have to get other books to get the full story of what happened. And Eve dreamed about her son of wrath killing the other son. And God told him, "Don't y'all say nothing to him. Let me handle this. Because if you say something to him, he may kill you." We don't know who our children really are. It doesn't matter how we train them, but when they get to a certain age and they get to running around folks, they pick up and develop their own character. So long-term care. See, I'm telling African Americans, see about your future. Don't take into account that your children gonna take care of you. Because like I said, I got 4 sons. One is disabled, but he would, let me tell you, that one that's disabled would make sure that nobody did nothing to me, because he'd be like, that's my mama. He could do that, but he couldn't fully take care of my financial matters. 3 and 4, I can trust right now. So I already know they won't do me in. I can give them my bank card. They know my passcode. They don't come mess with nothing. But number 2, he's a son of wrath. And he showed me that several times. When I prayed and said, God, what's the deal? And I didn't understand it until I read one of these lost books that they was talking about Abraham's son. I said, oh, I got one of them. Okay, God, now I understand. Because he got out there in the world and started learning that world and hanging around with drug dealers and all of this other stuff. So he's learned some things that have taken him away from what he knew as a child, serving God. And he don't
This
have no
is
problem trying to whoop you with the word the wrong way.
This is really powerful. I hope that people are hearing, how important it is to not just assume that because you have kids and you've sacrificed your life to raise them and to serve them, that it will be reciprocated. And so that's a really powerful point that you're bringing up. I know that we're almost getting out of time. Could you talk to us? You told us that when you were going to transition into being an entrepreneur, you knew you were going to have to make a sacrifice. And that sacrifice, I know one of them you said was how you worked. Can you talk to, because
Hmm.
sometimes as entrepreneurs, we think, things are just going to happen. And even as Christian entrepreneurs, we may think, I prayed about it, what's happening, and not realize there's a part we have to play.
Hmm.
So can you talk to people and tell them, like, what did you have to commit to doing to get this thing off the ground? And then how does your business actually work?
What I did was when God told me that he to get ready to come away from here and start hunting the house, I was still working on my job. I worked like a mad woman on my job. I worked 180 hours every 2 weeks. I worked Monday, Tuesday, double shift. Wednesday was only one shift because of Bible study. And I worked Thursday and Friday and Saturday double shift. And I didn't work on Sundays at all because that's my day of worship.
Mhm.
And when you're PRN, like I was PRN, so you can kind of
Mhm.
make your own schedule. PRN. So I did that for 6 months, and I put my money together. Like I said, because God had told me to do it, I had not said anything at this present point to my husband. And my husband's a workaholic, so my working didn't even phase him.
Mhm.
So when the time came and I went and I got the house, and after I got the house, then I showed it to my husband. I was prepared to do, and I had done some of the things in the house already, like put the couches in. It's like this house has a sitting room and a living room. And I had put the couches in and I had put the beds in before I showed him. Then when I showed him, he told me don't do nothing else. I hadn't put the stove, the stove was there. I hadn't put the refrigerator in. I hadn't put the freezers in. I hadn't put the washer and dryer in and a little bit of other little things. And my husband did all of that. So then I prepared. And once I prepared, I started putting my card out there and letting people know that I was there. And as that came the pandemic, February, I got one resident in
Wow.
February, and she came from an assisted living because she had fallen 10 times.
Mm.
Ironically, I had taken care of the lady before.
Oh, wow.
Ironically, in a nursing home. She was there for rehab, and she had gone back to her assisted living. Um, and that and I had just, I think, stopped taking care of the lady in November. She went back to her assisted living in November, and she started falling, and her family had to find a place. And when they were told about me, they kept saying, I think I know that name. And when they come and they saw it was me, she came there. So I was able to take care of her. Then the pandemic came. And when
Mm.
the pandemic came, everything shut down. But I didn't know people knew about me, that my card had got out in the right places
Come on.
to the right people.
Mm.
You go and let the nursing homes know. You go and let doctors know, geriatric doctors know. You go and let assisted livings know. And then I got hooked up into the network, the healthcare network, where hospices and everybody go to a meeting, because they're
Mhm.
actually looking for places to put people, because nursing homes are full right now and don't have beds.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
They only have rehab beds, because rehab is where the money is. So most of their beds are rehab. They've got like a certain amount of number of long-term beds. So you got to look at, will you be able to go to a nursing home? Will they be a bed for you?
Wow.
May not be a bed. So I started taking care of people, and even through COVID, I took care of people who couldn't go back to their assisted livings because they were still testing positive for COVID. And the assisted livings, you must test negative to be in there.
Mhm.
So I would take care of them, and then some of them went back to their assisted living, but there were those that were frail, and the family didn't want them to go back because they were getting more one-on-one care. So personal care is designed to give people care on a smaller scale at one-on-one. Who wouldn't love to just have like two people taking care? I have two people taking care of three people. So the individuals are kept dry, they're kept fed, they're kept hydrated. All of these things that you want one person to do for 15 to 20 people.
Mm.
Mm-mm-mm.
DNA takes care of from 15 to 20 people. Then okay, um, and they're not in no big hurry. And lately, what we're finding when I take on the family is that the family would go in, and every day they find their loved one saturated. And
Mm.
one even experienced the CNA saying, "Well, he don't want to get up anyway." You know,
Say
he
that again.
one family I got that really made them pull their loved one out of a nursing home is because they went in and they kept every day they find their loved one saturated. And so when they approached and said something to the CNA said, "Well, I have 20 people and he don't want to get up anyway." Well, him not getting up has nothing to do with him being wet. You still want to go clean him up. You still want him to you still want this man to have his dignity. You decided because he don't want to get up, you're not even gonna worry about keeping him clean. So, I'm hearing some real stories since I no longer, work in a nursing home. And I was received by CNAs, not received by CNAs, because my thing is, even as an RN, no one can tell you I won't clean up a person. No one
Right.
won't tell you that I don't turn and dry. No one can tell you I'm just now the nurse and I just push pills and I hand out orders, because even till I left there, I would clean people. I would, come, or even if I had to tell the aide, come help me. If this person was so frail and we needed to sign, no, you come here. When they holler, they need somebody. What am I? Let's go.
Right.
When you tell me you got to go have somebody, I'm right here. Let's go. So, it really comes down to that. It really comes down. You can do anything you want to do in life. As I said, I dreamed this thing for 20 years before it becomes for fruition. I help people. I don't really care what a person wants to do. Hey, I pray you through. If I can't do anything else, I pray you through and believe God with you and for you that it
Right.
will come to pass. There, people have ideas and aspirations and stuff. Everything from starting a bath business and going in people's houses to help people get baths, you know, getting a contract from a nursing home or an assisted living to come in and help people bathe. The families will pay, if they don't feel like their loved ones, they'll pay you if you got a business to go and bathe. That's a business all in itself. You know,
Wow.
um, that's just throwing something out there to somebody, right?
Yeah.
In everything. God is always telling me and showing me things. And I try to tell people, hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? And as my friend says, I need to do a consulting business for
Yes. Yes, we agree.
you
We
know,
agree because we noticed that you teach a lot of people and you're very selfless in giving of your time. But this is an amazing thing. We were doing some research and also had another person on our podcast, and she was talking about how in 8 years, and hear this audience,
Mm-hmm.
in only 8 years, 45% of America's workforce will no longer be able to work, right? And that is it's saying they will no longer be considered able-bodied and able to work, and there will not be places enough for them or even people enough to care for this group of people. 45%, and they can see that, the trend what's coming up. And so what Rethemious is telling us about is huge. And if you know you're on that person that man, I really do have a heart and a care for people that are aging, and I want to honor them like I've been hearing what has been said on this show, then we really want to encourage you to even reach out to her. But you at it's Adonai Family Homecare.com. But even more, you may know someone who's in need of her care
In the
in the
Huntsville,
Huntsville,
Alabama
Alabama
area.
area, then you can definitely reach out and speak to her, because she has places that she can be able to help people or direct to people that can help. Okay. So that's really great. Before we get ready to end, if there was anything you wanted to say to people that are watching, whether it's encouragement or admonishment, correction, whatever it would be, what would you say to the audience?
If you're getting close to 50, you're not at a better time than ever to pursue your dream. Because I'm telling you, when I was coming out of the nursing home, there was a businessman, and he heard that I was leaving, and I was taking care of him. And when I went in to take care of him, he said, "You can't leave here." I said, "Why can't? What?" I said, "I'm just PR in here, but I've been there like full time to him." And he said, "You're a great nurse and we need you." I said, "Yes." And I'm not leaving nursing. I said, "But I'm going to go and take care of people on a smaller scale to be able to get it done." Working in a facility limits you because they have their policy procedures and they have what they can do. It's like you may not get your medicines in that nursing home because if they're too high, they'll tell you they're too high and they're not going to pay for them.
Wow.
And if you weren't in there, your insurance was paying for them. But you now have moved into the nursing home. So now, for some reason, your insurance is not paying for them. I don't understand that, but that's another story.
Mm-hmm.
But I encourage people, whatever that dream was long ago that you buried, go back and pray. There's a time and a season for all things.
Mm.
And then pray for your destiny helpers to come into play. God just put my destiny
Mm.
helpers into play. A lot of times people can't get their business up because their destiny helpers don't come into play. The devil's helpers come into play, those that say they're going to help you because they really don't want you to get up. And God will hear you. If you're sincere in your prayer, God will hear you and place your destiny helpers in your way. You need to get your destiny helpers. You need to sit down. You need to focus. You need to make up your mind. And if you got a lot of stuff going on that shouldn't be going on, you need to get rid of the distractions, because that's the devil trying to keep you from being able to get up. What I make in a year and what my account, I didn't even know it. My accountant was the one who told me. That's just how much I just take care of the people and expire. I didn't even know I had hit the numbers that I had hit because
Wow.
I did what God said to do, and God just does the increase.
Mm-hmm.
Always keep God first. Always keep yourself in God's hand. Keep your business in God's hand.
Yes.
And you can't go wrong. A lot of times we pluck ourselves out of the hand of God, and we
Mm.
don't put our business in God's hand for him to lead us, guide us, and direct us, because you won't go wrong. Businesses went down. Someone brought it to my attention the other day when they were talking to me. They said, "Let's check this out. Businesses went down, but your business came up
Mm-hmm.
in the pandemic." He said, "God birthed you out
Mm.
of the pandemic." I'm now working on house number 4.
Yes.
Marketer called me that was looking at houses, wanted descriptive houses for me. You have to just keep going, and at all costs walk in faith and trust God, and keep the naysayers out of your ear. A lot of people haven't done what they're supposed to do, or God told them to do, is because they got people in their ear talking them out of it. Get the
Mm.
people out your ear. I don't let nobody listen. When somebody starts telling me I can, I say, who? I turn, who you talking to? Who? God told me I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. So if God told me to do it, then you got to get away from me. I'm very, very When God said a thing, you're not moving me. And they got to get like that. When God gives them something, they can't let nobody move them. They got to press. I would not be working on house number 4 had I allowed people to talk to me.
Hmm.
And don't tell everybody everything you're doing before
Mm.
God brings it to fruition, simply because, don't you know, just as much as people pray for you, people pray against you.
Hmm.
Mm.
So I'm just wondering how many people had people praying against them, and that's what derailed their dream. That's why they couldn't get it up, because you thought you were talking to your friend, but
Mm.
you were talking to somebody that had a lot of envy, strife, and jealousy.
Mm.
Know them that labor among you. Try the spirit by the spirit. You got to know the people, the character of the people that you're dealing with. You know, I look at people, and I ain't afraid to tell people about their character. And I ain't afraid to tell nobody else about it. So you can go say everything me said it, because I can stand on it
Yeah.
simply because I keep myself in the hands of God. Like I told one of my sisters the other day who was having an issue, and she's in Canada. I said, sis, you need to come down here so I can help you. She's a nurse, help you get yourself together. And you need to stop fooling around with them folks up there, is what I said. And getting yourself into issues, looking for love in all the wrong places. And that's a lot of things too. People get this falling in love, and all of a sudden their plans go. How many people got married? All their dreams changed because you was
Mm.
going one way, then you took on a partner, and you and the partner didn't have the same dream. So you left yours. As I said, my husband is a blue collar worker, but I didn't let him take my dream. I kept talking to God about my dream. And at God's appointed hour, God brought my dream to pass,
Oh,
and
man.
and let him see it.
Yes.
And
And
when he
support it.
and when he saw it, he kicked in.
Come on.
So
Yes.
I tell people, when my husband saw my dream, when I took him down there, I did everything. I just look, I was quiet because I understand my walk with God and my husband's walk with God.
Mm-hmm.
My walk is stronger. I was quiet. I kept quiet. I literally kept quiet till I got that house and got that house to where I got it. Then I said, honey, I want to show you where I'm headed. And when I walked him in it, I didn't have to say nothing else to him.
Yes.
Now he says, wow, we're at house. Look, listen to this. We're at,
All right now.
we are at house number 4. And when I say to him, yes, we are, honey.
That's right. That's right. Amen.
I never say, you always wanted me to stay as a blue collar worker. You know this and you know that. I never ever talk about it, bring it up, mention it to him and everything. And I say, honey, they called me and wanted to know the specs of what area they were looking for house number 4. He said, well, what did you tell them? I said, I gave them a radius range of where, so we don't get too far and able to manage the houses. My husband gets up and whatever needs to be done to those houses, grass cutting, whatever. All I know is he get up, he said, I'm going to cut this yard and I'm going to do this for this house and that for that house. I said, okay, honey. The
That's right.
only thing my husband ever asked of me is, look, when I got to go inside and work in a house, I want you to be in that house.
Yeah.
Because why? I have women that work for me. And he said, nobody will ever, ever be able to say
That's right.
one thing. And that's his mind. I said, huh? He said, yes. He said, you have women that work for you. So you need to be there when I have to do things inside the house. Yes, sir. No problem.
That's awesome.
You got to hear. You got to hear God.
That's awesome.
And when
Yes.
he said it, I said, okay, no problem. And that's it.
Man, this is so powerful,
Mm,
powerful, powerful
mm,
stuff. Thank you
mm.
so much for being on our show today. We've got Kanisha on here saying, amen. And earlier, Melo de Cruz, she said, blessed Sunday morning. And
So,
so we also had Frank Dent was on here earlier. He's a marketing specialist and he said, preach. So you're really speaking to the people and inspiring us all. And we can't thank you enough for how you've inspired us and just
And they're going to need a Frank Dent.
for
Yes,
marketing
They're
Frank.
gonna
you're right.
they're gonna need a Frank Dent. Yeah,
Mhm.
if they don't know too much about marketing, God just hooked me into a network. Like I said,
Mm,
he hooked me into a network. But even if they just go sit down and do a consultation, be willing to pay Frank his consultation, y'all. Don't
that's
go
right.
look for nothing for free, because that's Frank's profession right there. I'm gonna give
Mhm.
Frank a plug,
All
because
right.
you need to go sit down with someone that's marketing to tell you what you need to do and the direction you need to go if you don't know what to do.
That's right.
Frank, you just got some free advertising,
That's right.
so you can see Frank Dent, marketing specialist on LinkedIn. Check him out
Yes.
if you're looking for that. And man, again, thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us
Yes.
today. I know people were blessed and inspired, and I think that's all for today.
It is. It is. Well, we look forward to having you on the show next week on next Sunday when we highlight another business hero, someone who is pursuing passion, profit, and purpose so that they can affect the world for good. And we are Victor and Mia. You can reach us at painunwasted.org if you're interested in being trained on how to help someone who may be in a mental health crisis, or also if you yourself would like to improve your mental health, then you can definitely check us out at our website. All
Yes.
right.
Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe if you know somebody who will be blessed by this episode. Thank y'all
Awesome.
and have a blessed day. Bye bye.